You know, we all start as something soft, innocent, naive, like clay waiting to be molded. And the world? Oh, it loves it to play sculptor. It chisels, carves, and tears chunks out of you until you barely recognize what's left. Damages, they call it. Scars, flaws, proof you're broken. But me, I see it differently. I see it as growth, evolution, a masterpiece in progress. Because every crack, every cut, every bruise, it's shaping you into something far more dangerous, something the world can't control. Let's not kid ourselves here. Damage is inevitable. Life has a way of finding your soft spots. It digs in, pokes, and prods until you bleed. The people you trust betray you. The ones you love leave you. Your dreams, shattered like glass. But here's the funny part, and that's the point. The world isn't out to make you comfortable. No, it's here to test you, to push you, to see just how much you can take before you break. And when you don't, when you refuse to crumble, that's when the real fun begins. You see, maturity doesn't come from age. It doesn't come from birthdays or candles on a cake. No, it comes from pain, from loss, from damage. Every tear you've shed, every betrayal you've endured, every failure that's left you staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night. It's all a part of the process. It's all building you into something sharper, stronger, smarter. Oh, they'll tell you to let it go, to move on, to forget. But why would you? Why would you throw away the very thing that's made you who you are? Those scars on your heart, on your mind, on your soul, they're proof that you've survived, proof that you've grown, proof that no matter how many times life has knocked you down, you've gotten back up. And isn't that the ultimate joke? That the thing meant to destroy you is the very thing that's made you indestructible. Let's talk about trust for a moment, shall we? Trust is a funny thing, so fragile, so delicate, so easily broken. And once it's gone, it's like a mirror. You can try to piece it back together, but the cracks are always there. But those cracks, oh, they teach you. They teach you who's real and who's not, who's worth your time and who's not. They make you see the world for what it really is, a game of masks and lies. And when you finally stop playing, when you finally stop expecting honesty from people who thrive on deceit, that's when you're truly free. Damage is a teacher. A cruel one, sure, but a teacher nonetheless. It shows you who you are when everything falls apart. It strips away the illusions, the pretenses, the lies you tell yourself. And what's left? The raw, unfiltered truth. The part of you that doesn't need approval or validation or love from anyone but yourself. Oh, they'll call you cold, heartless, bitter. Let them say whatever makes them feel better about their own weaknesses. Because the truth is, they don't know what it's like to stand where you stand, to have faced the kind of pain that changes you forever, to have walked through hell and come out the other side. And here's the punchline. You didn't just survive, you thrived. You took every insult, every loss, every failure, and you turned it into fuel. You let it burn away the parts of you that didn't matter, the parts of you that were holding you back. And what's left now? A version of you that doesn't need their approval. A version of you that knows how to stand alone. People fear what they don't understand, and they'll never understand someone like you, someone who's been damaged, but refuses to be destroyed, someone who's taken their pain and turned it into power, someone who's learned to laugh in the face of adversity because they know the secret. The pain doesn't last forever, but the strength it gives you, that stays with you for a lifetime. Life is a series of hits. It's a never-ending boxing match where you're constantly on the ropes, taking punch after punch. And sometimes it feels like you can't go on. like you can't take another hit. But then, out of nowhere, something shifts. You find this spark inside of you, this fire you didn't know you had. And suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're fighting back. Oh, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Watching someone rise from the ashes. Watching someone who was supposed to be broken stand tall, unshaken, untouchable. That's you now. You're the phoenix, the unkillable, the one who laughs at the pain because you know it can't touch you anymore. They say time heals all wounds, but that's a lie. Time doesn't heal anything. You heal. You decide when it's time to stop bleeding, when it's time to pick yourself up, when it's time to move forward. Time is just an excuse for people who don't want to face their pain. But you faced it. You've embraced it. And now, it's a part of you. You've matured, not because life was kind, but because it wasn't. Because it tested you, because it pushed you to your breaking point and then laughed as you clawed your way back. But you made it. You're still here. And that's the ultimate victory. Keep those scars. Wear them like armor. Let them remind you of what you've overcome, of how far you've come. Let them remind you that you're not the same person you were before the damage. You're stronger now, smarter, more resilient. And when the world tries to knock you down again, and it will, just smile. Smile because you know the truth. Smile because you've been through worse. Smile because you're no longer afraid of the pain. Because pain doesn't destroy you. Damage doesn't define you. It molds you, shapes you, strengthens you, and in the end, it makes you unstoppable. But here's the thing they don't understand. Pain isn't just something you endure. No, it's so much more than that. Pain is the sculptor, and you're the masterpiece. Each blow, each break, each scar is a stroke of the chisel, carving away the unnecessary, exposing the raw, unpolished truth beneath. And it's messy. Oh, it's chaotic. But chaos is where beauty is born, isn't it? They see damage as a flaw, as something to be hidden, covered up, erased. But you've learned the secret, haven't you? Damage isn't a flaw. It's a feature. It's proof that you've lived, proof that you've fought, proof that you've survived what would have destroyed most people. And that scares them. It terrifies them. Because deep down, they know they wouldn't have made it. You ever notice how people shy away from their own pain? How they run, how they hide, how they bury it under distractions and lies? They're so afraid of feeling, of confronting the raw, unfiltered truth of their own existence. But not you. No, you've walked straight into the fire. You've let it burn you, scar you, consume you. And in doing so, you found something they'll never have: freedom. Freedom from their opinions. Freedom from their expectations. Freedom from the need to be anything other than what you are. Because when you faced the worst of it, when you've stood at the edge of the abyss and didn't fall, you realize nothing else matters. Their words, their judgments, their petty little games, they're nothing but background noise. You've stopped playing their game. You've stopped chasing their approval, their validation, their empty promises of acceptance. Because you've seen the truth. They don't matter. None of them do. The only thing that matters is the strength you've built, the lessons you've learned, the person you've become through it all. And oh, how it confuses them, how it infuriates them. They look at you and they don't know what to do. You're not playing by their rules anymore. You're not fitting into their little boxes. You're not who they thought you were, who they wanted you to be. You're something more, something they can't control, because the damage didn't break you. It didn't ruin you. It set you free. It tore down the walls, stripped away the masks, and left you with nothing but the truth of who you are, the truth of what you're capable of, the truth that you don't need them. You never did. And now you're dangerous. Not because you're perfect, but because you're not. Because you've embraced the imperfections, the cracks, the scars. Because you've stopped pretending to be something you're not. And that makes you untouchable. They'll call you selfish, arrogant, cruel. Let them hurl their insults, their accusations, their venom. It won't stick. It won't even faze you, because you've outgrown their games, their petty little dramas. You've risen above it all. You've matured, not because you wanted to, but because you had to, because life forced you to, because the pain wouldn't let you stay the same. And now, here you are, standing tall, unbroken, unstoppable. They'll never understand. They'll never see the beauty in the chaos, the strength in the scars, the power in the pain. But that's not your problem. Let them live their comfortable little lives, safe in their ignorance. You've got bigger things to do. Because damage doesn't just shape you, it propels you. It drives you forward, pushes you to places you never thought you could go. It makes you fearless. It makes you relentless. It makes you unstoppable. And when they look at you, when they see the fire in your eyes, the steel in your spine, the unshakable resolve in your heart, they'll know they were wrong about you. They'll know they underestimated you. They'll know that the person standing before them isn't just a survivor. It's a force of nature. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them throw their stones and play their games. None of it matters. Because you've already won. You've already proven to yourself that you're stronger than they'll ever understand. You've faced the pain. You've embraced the damage. And you've come out the other side, not just as a survivor, but as a conqueror. And now the world is yours for the taking. They stare, don't they? At the scars, at the cracks, at the pieces of you they think are damaged. But what they don't realize, what they'll never realize, is that those scars tell a story, not of weakness, but of survival, not of breaking, but of rebuilding. Every cut, every bruise, every shattered piece is proof that you fought battles they couldn't even imagine. And isn't it funny how they pity you as if you're the one who's broken? How they whisper behind your back, thinking you don't hear them. They don't see the truth. They can't see it because they're too afraid to face their own flaws, their own cracks. They hide behind masks of perfection, terrified that someone might see the fractures underneath. But you've embraced yours. You've taken the pain and made it your ally. You've turned the damage into armor, and now they can't touch you. Oh, they'll try, of course. They'll poke and prod, trying to find a weak spot. But there's nothing left to break, nothing left to shatter, because the damage didn't destroy you, it transformed you. They think maturity comes with age, with time, with experience. But you know better, don't you? Maturity comes from pain, from loss, from standing in the wreckage of your life and deciding to rebuild anyway. It's not about how many years you've lived. It's about how many times you've died and come back stronger. Oh, they'll never understand. They'll never know what it's like to be forged in the fire, to feel the heat, the pressure, the agony, and to come out harder than steel. They think they've suffered, but their pain is a drop in the ocean compared to what you've endured. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. They'll call you cold, detached, maybe even cruel. But that's just their fear talking. Fear of someone who doesn't play by their rules. Fear of someone who's seen through the illusions. Fear of someone who's learned to thrive in the chaos. Because that's what damage does, isn't it? It strips away the lies. It peels back the layers until all that's left is the truth. And the truth is this: you don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You don't need of them. You've become your own anchor, your own guide, your own savior. And that terrifies them, because they rely on others to prop them up, to tell them they're good enough, strong enough, worthy enough. But you've found that strength within yourself. You've taken every insult, every betrayal, every loss, and turned it into fuel. You've let it burn away the parts of you that were holding you back. And now you're untouchable. Oh, they'll try to bring you down. They'll throw their stones, their words, their doubts. But you'll just stand there smiling, not because it doesn't hurt, but because you've learned that the pain is temporary, that it doesn't define you, that it doesn't control you. You control it. And that's the secret, isn't it? The thing they'll never understand, the thing they can't even comprehend. That the pain, the damage, the chaos, it's not your weakness. It's your strength. It's the fire that fuels you, the hammer that shapes you, the storm that drives you forward. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them throw everything they have at you. It won't matter, because you've already faced worse. You've already survived the kind of pain that would break most people. And now you're unstoppable. Keep walking. Keep moving forward. Keep proving to yourself that you're stronger than they could ever imagine. Because at the end of the day, their opinions don't matter. Their judgments don't matter. The only thing that matters is the strength you found in yourself. The damage doesn't define you. The pain doesn't own you. You've taken it, you've faced it, and now it follows your lead. And when they look at you, when they see the unbreakable force you've become, they'll know. They'll know they were wrong about you. They'll know they underestimated you. And that realization, it'll terrify them, because you've matured, not in spite of the damage, but because of it. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The way pain molds you, reshapes you, forces you to evolve. Oh, they don't see it. Not yet. They look at you and see someone damaged, someone who's been through too much. But what they don't realize is that every scar, every crack, every wound has a purpose. Each one is a lesson, a reminder of what you've overcome. You've learned the hard way, haven't you? That the world doesn't stop to let you catch your breath. It doesn't care if you're tired or hurt or broken. It just keeps moving, keeps pushing, keeps testing. And for a while, you thought that was unfair. You wanted the world to give you a break, to let you rest, to let you heal. But then you realized healing doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when it's hard, when you're on your knees, with nothing left to give, and you still find a way to stand up again. That's what they'll never understand, that the damage isn't a weight holding you down. It's the very thing that's lifting you up. It's the fire in your chest, the steel in your spine, the grit in your teeth. It's what separates you from them. You've stopped playing the victim, haven't you? Stopped asking, why me? Stopped waiting for someone to save you. Because you've learned that no one's coming. No knight in shining armor. No cavalry. No miracle. Just you and your will to survive. And that's enough. They'll try to break you. Again and again. The world, the people, the circumstances. They'll throw everything they have at you. But here's the thing. They can't break what's already been broken and rebuilt. They can't shatter what's been reforged in fire. Oh, they'll hate you for it. They'll hate the way you stand tall, the way you refuse to crumble, the way you look them in the eye and laugh. Because they want you to be like them, weak, afraid, dependent. They want you to need their approval, their validation, their acceptance. But you don't, do you? Not anymore. You've outgrown their games. You've outgrown their lies. You've outgrown their shallow, empty words. And now you're playing by your own rules. It's funny, isn't it? How they claim to want strength, but the moment they see it in someone else, they feel threatened. They don't know what to do with someone like you. Someone who's walked through hell and come out stronger. Someone who doesn't flinch at their insults, their judgments, their petty little schemes. Because you've faced worse. You faced yourself. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Facing yourself. Looking in the mirror and seeing every flaw, every failure, every mistake. It's not the world that breaks you. It's the reflection. The truth staring back at you, daring you to do something about it. And you did. You didn't run, didn't hide, didn't look away. You stood there and faced it. And that's what they'll never understand. That maturity isn't about age or experience or time. It's about courage. The courage to face your pain, the courage to own your flaws, the courage to rebuild yourself piece by shattered piece until you're stronger than you ever thought possible. Let them call you cold. Let them call you heartless. Let them call you cruel. They don't know the battles you fought. They don't know the nights you've spent in darkness, questioning everything. They don't know what it's like to claw your way out of the abyss. But you know. And that's all that matters. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep proving to yourself that you're not the same person you were yesterday. That every bruise, every scar, every tear has made you better, not worse. Because maturity doesn't come from comfort. It comes from chaos, from destruction, from the kind of pain that tears you apart and forces you to rebuild. And now you're unstoppable. They'll try to drag you back down, of course. They'll try to remind you of who you used to be, of the mistakes you've made, of the pain you've caused. But let them try. Let them waste their breath. Because you're not that person anymore. You've grown. You've changed. You've matured. Not in spite of the damage, but because of it. And now, when you look in the mirror, you don't see a victim. You don't see someone who's broken, or weak, or flawed. You see a warrior, a survivor, a force of nature. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them throw their stones. It won't matter, because you've faced the worst and come out stronger. And the best part? You're just getting started. Oh, they'll stare, won't they? Watching from the sidelines as you rise, confused and bitter, because they don't understand how someone like you, someone who's been through the ringer, someone they wrote off as finished, can stand taller than ever. You know what's funny? They think it's luck. They call it a fluke, a stroke of chance. But they don't know the truth. The truth is, you didn't just survive the storm. You became the storm. Pain is a funny thing, isn't it? It's not just something you feel. It's something you carry. A weight pressing down on your chest, suffocating you. But here's the thing about weights. You can let them crush you, or you can use them to grow stronger. And you chose strength. You took that pain, that unbearable pressure, and you turned it into fuel. Every insult, every betrayal, every moment they doubted you, it became a brick in the fortress you built around yourself. And now that fortress stands tall, unshakable, untouchable. But it's not there to keep people out, is it? No, it's there to remind you of how far you've come. They think they know you. They think they've got you all figured out. But they don't have a clue. They see the surface, the calm, the control, but they'll never see what lies beneath. They'll never see the war you fought with yourself, the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, questioning everything, the battles you waged against your own mind, your own fears, your own doubts. But you won, didn't you? And now they hate you for it, because your strength shines a spotlight on their weakness. Your resilience exposes their fragility. Your ability to rise again and again, it makes them uncomfortable, because it reminds them of all the times they stayed down. Oh, they'll call you arrogant. They'll call you ruthless. They'll call you every name in the book, but that's just their fear talking. Fear of someone who doesn't play by their rules. Fear of someone who doesn't care what they think. Fear of someone who's become something they'll never be, untouchable. They'll ask, how do you do it? But they won't really want to know the answer, because the answer terrifies them. The answer is pain, raw, unfiltered, excruciating pain. The kind that doesn't just break you, it rebuilds you. See, pain is an artist, a cruel, unforgiving artist. And you're the masterpiece. The cracks, the scars, the imperfections, they're not flaws. They're the strokes of a master craftsman, proof that you've been through the fire and come out stronger. And here's the kicker. You wouldn't erase it, would you? Even if you could. Even if you could go back and undo all the hurt, all the damage, all the chaos, you wouldn't. Because it's made you who you are. It's given you a depth, a strength, a power they can't even begin to comprehend. You've learned to stop running from the pain, to stop fearing it, to stop seeing it as the enemy. Because it's not the enemy, it's the teacher, the guide, the fuel. Every setback, every failure, every loss, it didn't destroy you, it forged you. It took the version of you they knew, the version of you they thought was weak, and turned it into something they can't even recognize. And now you walk into rooms, and they don't know what to do with you. They don't know how to handle the energy, the presence, the sheer power you bring. They can't look you in the eye because they know, deep down, they could never have survived what you've survived. You're a mirror now, a reflection of everything they fear. Not because you're perfect, but because you're not. Because you've embraced the flaws, the failures, the darkness. You've turned it into your greatest strength, and that scares them. Let them be scared. Let them talk. Let them doubt. None of it matters, because you're not here to prove anything to them. You're here to prove it to yourself. They say, time heals all wounds. But you know better, don't you? Time doesn't heal. You do. Time doesn't do the work. You do. Time doesn't make you stronger. Pain does. And you've faced more pain than they'll ever know. You've looked it in the eye, felt its weight, and still found a way to stand, to move forward, to keep going. Because that's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. Not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let it control you. Not the lack of pain, but the ability to turn it into power. So let them stare. Let them wonder. Let them try to figure out what makes you tick. They'll never understand because they're too busy running from their own pain to see the truth. The truth is, you've matured with the damage. You've grown through the pain. You've become something they'll never be, unstoppable. And now the world is yours. Would you like me to expand further to reach the full word count? This can easily continue to layer in deeper reflections and sharpen the tone. Let them keep guessing. Let them keep trying to piece you together with their small, narrow minds.